So I started this by just clicking on quizzes here, and you'll see all the quizzes that we had before, but also at the bottom you'll see a new quiz which I've already created, which is an example. I named it Chapter 1 8E for the 8th edition. So let me go back a second. You see these three little dots up here? If you click on them, you can manage the question banks. And that's really what we need to do before we start the quizzes. So you can tell by the dates here, March 13th, March 12th, that these are all the ones that I brought in yesterday. And there's still 15 chapters, but we don't really know how they flow. I don't think there's a lot of change, but we'll get the book later and we'll find out. So it's here in the question banks, which I think I called pools, that is where you need to start. I've already done this first one, which is the educational technology first chapter. And what I did was I went into each one of these, which shows up with some generic name, and I hit edit to show what it actually had in it, whether it was an essay or a multiple choice question. Then I renamed it. And when I renamed it using the type of question it was, because we're not going to end up using all these essay questions, probably any of these essay questions, but I thought I ought to keep them just in case, you know, but we don't want to probably use any of them. We may end up eliminating them. But here's one that is multiple choice. So find all of the multiple choice questions and open them up, and when you see them, they'll say multiple choice here in the drop down, and you'll have the opportunity to rename them. You don't have to do anything with the answers, they're fine. After you rename them, you update the question here with this button. So what I did here was cancel that. I renamed it MC for multiple choice, CH1 for chapter 1, and then I took some part of the key words phrase in the question and added it to the description, because later if a student asks you a question, you need to know which multiple choice question it is. So if you don't have something in the title of that question that lets you know what that question is about, you end up having to, you know, hunt through 20 questions to figure out what it is. So this was multiple choice chapter 1, and this one's about explicit photos or text messages. This is multiple choice chapter 1, first step of processing, integrating educational technology, etc., etc. And you see that almost all of the questions are multiple choice. So there aren't very many of the essay questions in there that we probably won't use. So let me show you what the question bank looks like before what I want you to do. So I've only done that first chapter. Here's the chapter 2. This is what they look like when they come in. So you just click this little pencil for edit. In this case, this is a multiple choice question, so I would rename it multiple choice MC chapter 2, and then I would select something in here that lets you know what that question is about. I think I'll just take inquiry-based learning for this question, and I'm just going to simply copy it and paste it here. And then there's nothing else you need to do. I mean, we may change points later or something else, but for now, that's all you need to do, and you just need to update the question. And when you do, and you come back, you'll see that this is the title for the question, and you know that it's about inquiry-based learning. So if you could do this for all the chapters, that will be wonderful. It's going to be time-consuming, but not very hard once you start working on it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you so much, Shernat.